tutti ragazzi e bentornati a un nuovo episodio di End of Glory. Dunque, l'ultima volta abbiamo parlato con Eugene e dobbiamo riuscire a entrare qui dentro, però parlava di un pupazzetto, se non sbaglio.
Hello.
E così volevi molto bene al tuo orsetto di pezza.
A panda.
Ah, era un
It was a
panda,
panda.
ok. Quindi
E more
bisogna
important,
rimediare
boys.
forse un panda, così poi ci fa entrare. Vediamo. Che poi qui al momento mi sa che non è che c'era molto altro. Buco, vediamo un po'.
I saw a hole in the wall, right behind that fluttering poster.
Allora c'è un
The manhole could
tombino.
have been a perfect gateway into the factory. The question was how to get
Ok,
there.
quindi
Alice
dalle
held her own
fogne.
quite well with that computer, and I had started to rely on that.
Il saggista si dovrebbe far
I
pagare,
always
però.
wanted to drive one of those.
E vabbè, dobbiamo andare a
Even
chiedere a
after
quella,
entering the
quindi.
premises, I don't think I could.
Ok. Meno male ho visto sto buco. Quindi namosene. E direi quartiere generale, HPD. Andiamo da amichetta nostra.
Hello.
Hi, Lars.
Sono stata alla fabbrica che mi ha indicato stamattina.
I've been to the factory you mentioned, and you know what, Alice? That place is anything but abandoned.
Which makes it a real lead, instead of the potential dead end that it seemed.
The problem with sneaking inside remains, though. The place is guarded by the last descendant of a race of prehistoric
Una razza
giants.
quasi
Yet I
estinta.
think I found a possible access point. You can hold your own with that hellish thing, can't you?
I'm usually able to find out more than an average person can learn about their spouse by rummaging through their wallet.
Remarkable. Could you provide me with a map of the, Alice, I know it may seem strange, but I need a map of the city sewers, with a marked path that will lead me from a certain starting point to an end one.
You want to go through the sewers? Such elegance. Give me 2 minutes.
È un hacker questa, trova tutto.
All right. I already found an up-to-date map and I marked the coordinates for the old factory. It wasn't easy. I had to hack the server of the
appunto.
Miami municipality, upload a worm that would hide my IP from the
In 3
IP
secondi l'ha
controllers,
fatto.
and finally download all the updated floor plans for the sewers.
And you did all that in 20
Esatto.
seconds?
I'm messing with you. I just loaded the appropriate site and found a recent map.
Ah sì? Si trova così?
Are you sure you want to sneak through the sewers all alone? With or without a map, it is still a dark and smelly
me too.
labyrinth.
Recently, met a kid that could prove useful.
Let me know what you find in there. And most of all, be careful. I have a bad feeling.
You bet. Bad feeling is my middle name.
That would be 2 names, Lars.
Yeah, that doesn't quite work, does it?
Not really. But wait, you could say, bad feeling is my nickname instead.
Great. Bad feeling sounds fearsome as a nickname, doesn't it?
Ok, a
See you
dopo
later,
Bye,
partner.
Lars.
Quindi andiamo nelle fogne. Vediamo se il re moccioso ci aiuta. Moccioso. M.
Hey there, kid.
What do you want?
È arrivato finalmente il momento di far vedere il tuo particolare talento.
Moment has come.
To open tuna cans using only my toenails?
Schifo.
Gross. I mean, your infallible sense of direction in the depths of the city's underground. You must be my guide and lead me to a specific point of the city, in the vicinity of a manhole.
And how do I know where it is?
I have a map here with the route displayed. I'm not that naive.
Okay, and what do I get out of it?
My unconditional love. All right, what do you want? More electronic junk?
I want you to recover my medallion from that mound of dirt.
Is it yours? And why is it there? Is it yet another gift from the surface?
Don't even joke about it. That medallion is mine.
Maybe we can retrieve it and give it back to the rightful owner.
I told you it's mine. I always have it on me, but this morning I woke up and somehow it had ended up there. I just couldn't reach it, and so I need you to get it.
Ha! It must be tough to be as tall as it can.
If you're going to be like that, then I want a Sfrizzo Cola too.
Do you think this is the right time to drink a soda? I'm in a hurry, you little punk.
It's not for drinking. I need it as fuel for my modified vehicle.
I heard something about that. It seems that Sfrizzo was withdrawn from the market just because of the diluted fuel scandal. Wait a minute, though. What vehicle are we talking about?
Listen, do you want to ride or not? Then shut up, bring me my medallion and a
mo pure sta
Sfrizzo cola.
sfrizzo cola andaviamo.
Okay, I'm going.
Ah, il medaglione me l'ho visto, non ci avevo fatto proprio caso. Eccolo qua. Ma sta stronzata della frisco cola?
The medallion was out of reach, even from the... I would have to go around and get...
Arrivarci da dietro? E come ci arrivo da dietro, scusami? Ma non può usare l'attaccapanni?
It remained out of reach.
Ma va cagare.
I was all out of idea.
Raccolti di idee.
No matter how hard I tried.
No, quindi questi no. Qui c'è la mappa,
Showed the
la mappa
sewers of
delle
Miami.
fogne.
Alice had marked the X.
E ma come faccio? Dove giro qua, scusami? Non è chiaro? Non mi pare di aver visto altri tombini. E sto ragazzino?
Attention, monsieur! Huh? Attention to what?
Maledetti mocciosi.
You horrible brat! I told you, the Harbinger today made us a really big favor with those firecrackers.
It almost sounds like a gunshot.
They should be illegal. They throw them on the ground, then they explode and we all jump in the air by fear. Where will we end up, I wonder?
At the morgue. Another prank like that and I'll have a stroke. And yet, I suspected that having one of those firecrackers in my pocket would help me in the future.
Quindi ce l'abbiamo anche noi in verità. Cosa c'hai te che mi può interessare?
I had nothing else to say. I'd already raided everything. Putting it in my pocket was out of the question. If needed.
Forse servirà, ma non qui. Vabbè, ci tocca rifare il giretto, mi sa. Willow dice qualcosa?
I've had enough of his government.
No. Quindi direi Miami Springs è la fabbrica. Questa è casa David Ramos. Qui c'era un distributore.
It's you again.
Do we know each other?
No, but I've seen you on TV. You must be a VIP.
Ah, well, you can proclaim it loudly. Because before you is the famous detective... Lazarus Bundy!
Non avevamo
That's why you
capito.
wear a Sherlock Holmes hat?
It's more like him wearing my hat.
Well, actually,
Anyway, let me work now, Mr...
Issa.
Stay there and watch how a real investigator works.
I have to wait for the pawn shop to open anyway. The owner has no will to work. He should have been here already for a while now.
Allora, distributore di sfrizzocola,
The vending
eccola.
machine wasn't working, so I couldn't buy a soda. I had no choice but to come up with something illegal.
Trying is useless. It's gone. I put some money inside and it was eaten. I also tried to kick it, but no dice.
Believe me, you were lucky. I wouldn't wish a Sfrizzo even on my worst enemy.
Quindi come riusciamo a prendere adesso sta sfrizzocola con il pop-up,
I didn't understand. It was one of those...
con l'attaccapanni?
In that moment, a vending machine for action. That moment...
Con questo?
I didn't understand how that could possibly help me.
Allora, fanculo. Con la chiave inglese,
Destroying the vending machine seemed like overkill.
senza arrivare a
As a result
distruggerla.
of dealing with the worst individuals in society, I learned every kind of possible trick.
Dai,
Starting a soda was one of those tricks.
che metodo originale.
That is Sfrizzo Cola. If I needed to loosen a bolt, that would be perfect.
Sorry, aren't you a detective?
Exactly. And this vending machine contains some fundamental evidence from my latest case.
How cool. Can we take a selfie?
Ah, no thanks. I already had breakfast.
Actually, a selfie is...
Allora, quindi abbiamo la
Sfrizzo
sfrizzocola,
Cola. Great for slowly killing.
i propri organi interni. Vediamo un attimo se c'è qualcosa
No more messages from me.
Niente più
Are
messaggi
you
per
looking for
me.
clues?
What are you talking about?
I've heard this building was the hideout of a famous local serial killer who escaped because of a detective that... Hey, did you have anything to do with that?
Nah, I was dealing with another case. Another case, cleverly solved.
Questo sta un po' incollà, Issa.
That place drained me of all...
Sì, pure mi ha tolto la voglia di chiacchierare. Vabbè, direi la sfrizzocola qua l'abbiamo presa. Qui forse c'è un tombino? Come facciamo?
Good morning, Duke.
E così lei sarebbe un nobile vero e proprio, quindi se le chiedessi di ricordare la sera di cui abbiamo parlato, che so che
what if I-
voleva?
Oh, my poor dwarf.
Ah,
If
la
only someone
palma.
would take
I think I know
Ok,
quick
ok.
trip.
So you are...
The Ravendish family dates back to the 16th century, during the time of the controversial Henry VIII.
I can only wonder how an actual Duke ends up living on the street.
I do not think my story would be of any interest to you, lad.
Vabbè.
Don't leave the...
I would...
Quindi, per pulire la palma, ma se usiamo la sfrizzocola?
Was it really worth it?
No, Boh, al momento quindi qui no. Come facciamo ad andare di là? Mica ho capito sta cosa. La villa di Mulsberg.
I was sure I had found everything I needed there.
Ah, ok, non dobbiamo più tornare qui al vicolo, quindi. La villa di Mulsberg non...
For the time being, my investigation...
Ah, ok, non mi ci fa tornare. Quindi possiamo andare soltanto in queste zone qua. Che significa andarci da dietro? Non ho capito. Casa non mi fa scendere giù. E non credo ci sia niente neanche nell'appartamento, onestamente. Non ho capito quella cosa di andare a prendere dall'altro lato. Eh no, ci tocca per forza quella roba lì delle fogne. Quindi quartier generale HPD. Tombino.
The medallion was out of reach, even from the central mound. I would have to go around and get there from the back.
Che cacchio faccio a fare il giro? Cioè, se tu vai così da solo, non ce vai. Ah, ma vaffanculo, che cacchio ne sapevo che facevi così? Non era molto chiaro, onestamente. Ti con
With
l'attaccapanni.
that, I could surely get to the medallion, but I wouldn't be able to grab it. I needed something that would provide me a more secure grip.
Ammazza e palle. Allora, questo con questo.
I thought it was better to look for another solution.
Dai, che facevi la canna da pesca. Ma... Ecco,
The
fatto.
line from my amazing fishing rod had broken, giving me barely enough time to grab the medallion. I was astonished by the craftsmanship of the object. This surely wasn't street jewelry. A crow, with a threatening look, surrounded the world with its wings. But what was a little gangbanger like him doing with a prize like that?
Ah, boh, bella domanda.
Then again, it was absolutely none of my business. I already had a mystery on my hands, and one at a time was
Ce lo
enough.
famo bastare. Allora, Ciccio, guarda che c'ho qua tutto per te. Tiè.
I recovered your medallion. Not bad at all, I must say. Where'd you find it?
Throw it to me and mind your own business.
Okay, okay. I was just being curious.
Sempre antipatico sto monello, comunque. Dai, Ciccio,
Hey
mo mi
there,
devi
kid.
What do you
accompagnare.
want?
Eccoti la
Here's your
sfrizzocola.
Sfrizzo Cola, you brat.
We'll get around half the city with this.
All ready for our departure?
I'm ready for anything. And you?
Before
Ovvio.
leaving, I'd have to find out precisely how to move around inside the factory. I still have to take care of a few things.
Ma no, ma dai, ci siamo.
Show the sewers of Miami. Alice,
E mo come famo? Che
hey there,
pizza.
kid.
What do you want?
All ready for our departure?
I'm ready for anything.
Before leaving,
Avrei
I'd have
dovuto
to find out
scoprire come muovermi
precisely
di
how to
preciso
move around.
all'interno della fabbrica. Ma che cacchio ne so? Posso usare il cellulare, eh? A
I didn't need to call
stagista.
Alice right at that moment.
No, a
I wondered
mamma.
what my mother was doing at that precise moment. It had been years since we last spoke. Anyway, I had other things to worry about. I no
Barton.
longer needed to call Burton.
Willow.
Just having to talk to him in person from time to time was enough. Besides, my phone calls with Wheel lasted anti-interception measures.
Vabbè, quindi niente.
I
Giochi?
only had a game. The one with the snake. that has to eat the
Snake.
dots. I was complete rubbish at
Vabbè, andiamosene. E quindi, dai, ma davvero non me ce vai? Ma che Pasqua.
I'd risk getting lost for a good cause.
Che pitta. E quindi mo come facciamo? Proviamo a richiedere Alice, quella sa tutto. Devo capire come entrare nei fogni là, cioè nella fabbrica,
Hi,
come
Lars.
devo muovere. Eh no, l'origine del
This
ciuffo.
time?
I'm starting to make you lose sleep over this. Bring it on.
So, I think the trauma is not due to your adolescence, but your childhood. The fact that you don't have a picture of your parents on the desk makes me think that you're not particularly interested in their approval. This is because of a family conflict in your background. Your father was a bad man, maybe a drunkard, who didn't spare any occasion to beat your poor mother. Time and fatigue weakened the woman, causing premature aging and the total whitening of her hair. Your lock is dedicated to her, your heroine.
Come on, knock it off. My mother works in a dry cleaner's around the corner and still has long blonde hair. My father, on the other hand, is a retired detective, and he's still my role model, even today. I dare say he was probably a much better
Beh
detective.
sì,
So
ci
you
vuole
think this will be
poco.
enough to make me declare surrender? I'll be back for more soon.
Ciao ciao.
See you later.
Bye, Lars.
E quindi mo come facciamo a capire? Perché quello vuole pupazzetto, ma pupazzetto non ci sta.
I'm a badge now.
Ho il distintivo ora. E qui, boh, ti serve entrare di
There was
qua,
no
non
sense in
credo.
cheating death.
No. It's complicated. Allora, torniamo comunque un attimo lì alla fabbrica. Miami Springs.
I couldn't climb
Cancello.
over it with that brute guarding it.
E sono d'accordo.
Hello. And more
No,
important-
questo è l'orsetto di pezza, ma non ci abbiamo sto minchia di orsetto di pezza.
The HPD did a great job of wallpapering all of Miami with Ramos's ugly mug. The upteenth beach party, complete with a contest for surfers. I even tried to surf once, but my scarf continually covered my eyes, and I kept on falling off the board.
Pure lì mette la sciarpa. Qui che altro c'è da vedere che non ho visto? Il tombino, il muletto, la serranda e basta. Quindi non lo so, non lo so.
The manhole could have been a perfect with the map Alice gave me. I also knew how to reach it.
Però pare che
Even
non ti
after
sta
entering the
bene.
premises, I don't think I could.
Non puoi sollevare
I
quella
always wanted
serranda e vuoi fare questo. Però pare che non ti basta. E quindi come facciamo? Macchine sportive.
Mamma mia! Look
Mamma
at those
mia.
cars. Luxury convertibles with all the gadgets in the right places.
Allora, non possiamo andare in grandi posti. E non lo so proprio come facciamo a capire questa cosa della fabbrica. Ma ci vorrebbe un cavolo di pupazzetto.
He was getting down with.
Qui cos'è che si illumina? La fontana. Il cavolo di
Ramos was
poster.
everywhere. The fountain wasn't especially elaborate, and to tell the truth, it also seemed out of
Fuori
place.
contesto.
It emitted a hypnotic water jet, though, neither too violent nor too calm.
E io non vedo pupazzi, onestamente.
I had nothing else to say.
A meno che a casa sua lui abbia qualche pupazzo e non me ne sono resa conto.
I
Macchina
wouldn't
di
want a car like
Willow.
that, even if it was a. Not to mention that green tar could probably go faster with less pollution.
Vabbè, non ci interessa la macchina di Willow. Ah, proviamo a vedere un attimo se per caso a casa di Lars c'è qualche pupazzetto.
I was sure I would find only bills and late.
Vabbè,
Sometimes.
i
it's
pagamenti non lo vuole aprire, va bene. Quindi qui la voragine.
For months, I kept asking and asking Miss Joyce to repair that hole. Sooner or later, I would fall through it again.
E quindi qui non ha altro. Però nella sua casa qui c'ha tanti pupazzetti. Ci sarà un cavolo di
With
panda?
blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action figures when I was a kid. After Green Dart, it was my biggest triumph.
L'unico posto dove poteva sta un panda era quello. Alla villa dei Mulzberg non mi ci fa tornare.
I didn't want anything from the bar. Obviously, the fridge. With blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action. After Green.
Perché qui non ci abbiamo niente di tutto ciò. No. Né un qualcosa che possa ricordare un panda, niente proprio, un orsetto, niente.
I had learned
Televisore.
everything I could from the TV.
Devi indagare di persona, carrello.
I didn't want anything from the trolley.
Non vuole niente dal carrello, e allora una certa, tanti saluti. Ma pensa un po', cioè sotto al letto c'aveva sto
And so
coso.
Eugene was heartbroken over the loss of his stuffed panda. Could I use my little bear to entice him?
Probabilmente.
How long since I'd last pulled it out from down there? My beloved Bobby. I called him that in memory of my grandpa, Roberto. That stuffed animal had been with me since I was 6.
Allora, probabilmente dobbiamo farlo diventare bianco con la tintura. E poi con il pennarello facciamo intorno agli occhi il nero e qualche altro pezzetto nero, insomma. Credo sia così. Quindi qua. Di qua. Questo lo metti qua.
That way, it would have looked like a panda.
Ok. Che capolavoro ha fatto. E poi con il pennarello questo mettiamo un po' di nero per farlo diventare più
With the
panda.
proper modifications, I'd turn Bobby the polar bear into
Ah,
Bobby the
vedi
panda.
sì. Ok, quindi andiamo a dare il pupazzetto a quello lì. Miami Springs. La fabbrica. Panda a Eugene.
Eugene, I have a surprise for you.
Bert? You're alive!
I knew a specialist doctor owed me a favor, and I asked him to help me. Do you want him?
Of course! Give him to me, please!
Business before pleasure. Can you tell me where to find Radwed's office inside this huge factory?
Enter the big door, take the alley towards the hand you're right with, climb the ladder,
Ma
and
comunque
you'll
ci si
find it up
scrive.
there. Now give me my Bert, Stallone!
I knew Eugene was totally at my mercy then, and he would let me enter without making a fuss. Can I enter the factory?
No.
Oh, okay. So,
Dai,
here's
tanto
Bert.
abbiamo trovato il modo, non ti preoccupare. Ok, quindi abbiamo dato il pupazzetto a
I
questo.
lingered a few moments to watch Eugene playing happily with a piece of my childhood, the only toy my father ever gave me. Parting with it was a bit like giving up a sweet memory.
Ma comprare un altro pupazzetto no. Vabbè. Ok, direi che è giunto il momento di infognarci. Ok, tombino. Chicco Cocco.
Hey there, kid.
What do you want?
Tutto
All
pronto?
ready for our departure?
I'm ready for anything.
I'd say it's time. How long do we have to walk, more or less?
Walk? Psst. Wait here, you fool.
Quindi c'ha veramente un mezzo?
I just about convinced myself that I'd been scammed, when from the depths of the sewers, I heard a rumble.
All aboard! The next ferry is about to weigh anchor and set sail to the sewers of death. Hold tight to the dinghy.
Vedi, alla fine sto ragazzino gli ha molla.
Following Eugene's instructions, I quickly reached Radwed's office. Finally in the Wolf's lair. I had to move quickly then, and above all, find something that would get me close to young Catherine.
Ok, quindi vediamo bene l'ufficio. Ventilatore. Che minchia di giro fai? Sta qua.
It was already set to on, but the power strip wasn't activated.
La ciabatta non era accesa. Oh, attacca la ciabatta.
It supplied power to the fan, but for the moment it was deactivated.
E now è attiva. Vabbè. Scrivania.
Messy and without style, the desk displayed a hasty and maniac mindset.
Lattina.
Light solvent. Alice told me
Il
the factory produced
solvente.
building materials before it closed.
Ottimo, grazie. Così possiamo pulire la palma. Cassetti.
As expected, the drawers were all locked. As was reasonable to expect, it was
Tutto
closed.
chiuso. Scrivania, scrivania, foto.
They were all pictures of Catherine. Catherine at sea, on a boat, always smiling. And among all those shots, the picture that led me there.
Un po' ossessionato da questa. Ecco che è
The baby bump
incinta.
showing on the girl suggested that the photo was recent. Catherine in a park, in the tranquility of a spring sunny day. Huh. She had the sunniest smile I'd ever seen in my life. On a horse, smiling, on a sunny day in the hills. The photo that led me to the factory. Catherine was holding a snow globe, inside which Miami was represented. Silly
Vedi.
nonsense. Her expression suggested she felt the same way as me. She was on a luxury boat, probably the property of her rich father. Catherine at the beach. No detail that indicated where she was specifically. I wondered if I'd ever get the chance to hear her play. She was running carefree in a park. That picture made my guts churn with rage at the thought of the kidnapping.
Poraccia. E quella busta non ti interessa. Non c'è altro, scusa. Scrivania. Palla di vetro. Che è quella della
I
foto?
recognized the glass ball. It was the snow globe Catherine was holding in her hand in the photo. I inspected the sphere and discovered a small brass key in a battery compartment. A very stupid place to hide something. The batteries must have leaked and the key was oxidized.
Quindi così non riesco, immagino.
The key was completely rusty, and it was
Ottimo.
that solvent and vigorous friction could restore the key back to good condition.
Ok. Prova qua.
The key didn't fit any of those drawers.
Vabbè però. Con questo.
The lock triggered, and the drawer opened with a soft sound. Among the several documents inside, I found a freshly printed dossier. It was related to an unspecified exchange of goods that would be happening that very night. The location of the meeting wasn't specified, but a certain detail grabbed my attention. One of the records was for a bribe to a harbor office, also unspecified. Considering the number of piers in Miami, finding the right one would be far from easy. I needed more clues if I wanted to find the exchange location.
Cacchio.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell
Ah,
a
questa è
lot
la
of
diva.
snoop.
You seriously said fee fi fo fum?
Mama
Fee,
got
fi,
it
fo,
right, like
fum.
always. Pull your head out and let me take a look at you, smartass.
Like heck. What would stop you from shooting me then?
I only need to take 2 steps to have you at gunpoint anyway, sport.
You don't want to do that. I'm a detective on duty, and I'm armed.
So you say, and yet I don't see you flashing any gun.
I'm just waiting for you to take a wrong step.
I say you're bluffing. Okay, I'm fed up with this chattering. You have 3 seconds to come out.
Allora, quanto ci
or I'll be
ammazza da
coming
1 a
to get
10?
you myself. 1.
I doubted that the power strip could help me at that.
Non lo so. Non ne ho idea. Tira la chiave inglese
I would
addosso
have
a sta
liked to,
stronza.
but she'd have shot me before.
And 3.
Vabbè. Grazie del tanto tempo che abbiamo avuto.
fed up.
Sì,
1.
sì. Allora, il
Could that ashtray help me in
posacenere.
any way? I wouldn't have managed to sneak out of the...
Non ce la fa a sgattaiolare fuori dalla finestra.
It was already set to
Ventilatore.
on. But the...
La ciabatta non era accesa. E accendi sta minchia di ciabatta. Va. Dai, però, conta fino a 10, che ne so. Così sulla ciabatta. No. Così sulla ciabatta. Lo fai, fa? Sulla ciabatta? Dai che... Ah, l'attaccapanni. Questo qua.
All right, Squirt. It seems you weren't bluffing after all. What do you think you accomplished? Radwad will be here soon, and together we'll flush you out of there.
True, but I'd bought precious seconds to get out of that
Esatto,
hell.
adesso usciremo dall'inferno.
By turning on the
Ciabatta.
power, I thought I could divert Mama's attention towards the fan, clearing a way through the office window for a few seconds. From where I was, though, the power strip was beyond...
Dai che ci arrivi, usa sto gamezzo
The
di
clothes
cose.
stick wasn't long enough.
Ma come non era sufficientemente
I didn't
lungo?
I didn't understand.
Questo è
Could that
lungo.
ashtray help me? That might have been my only way out of that deadly trap.
No.
Maybe if I...
Devo distrarla. Questo si allunga.
Hey, what are you up to?
Nothing. I was just measuring the desk to kill time.
I've known many morons, but
Beh, da una parte. Dai. Tira il lucchetto qua.
Maybe.
Ma perché non puoi tirare qualcosa? La ciabatta non ci arriva.
I
Così?
thought it was better to look for
La
another
ciabatta,
solution.
questo. Ah, non lo so. Aiutatemi.
I couldn't see
Scrivania.
anything that might help.
Lui è l'uscita, le foto. Scusami, ma se usiamo questo con
Sometimes
questo?
my obsession with using... That might have been my only way out of... Maybe.
Sì, l'ho capito che l'unica tua
I
via
thought it was better
d'uscita.
Was it really worth it?
Non lo so se ne valeva davvero la pena. La sigaretta nel
The cigarette was out.
posacenere. La sigaretta era spenta, accendila. Non lo so perché sto a fare sta cosa.
As soon as the smoke reached me, waves of desire washed over me. How tough can it be to quit such a vice?
Ok, la sigaretta accesa la metti nel posacenere.
hey, Squirt, are you out of your mind?
Ah, ok, così si sposta.
Take another step or I'll end you. Understand?
Yeah,
No, no,
all
tranquilla,
right.
tranquilla.
I was just using the ashtray. I wouldn't want to set the entire factory on fire.
Adesso
The
possiamo
fan could have
arrivarci?
distracted Mama. The
Arrivaci.
clothes stick wasn't long.
L'attaccapanni non era sufficientemente lungo. Dai, che ci vuole
No
ad
matter how hard I
arrivarci?
tried.
Che possiamo utilizzare?
I couldn't
Scrivania
see
che
anything that
diceva?
might...
Niente che mi possa aiutare. Adesso che si è spostata, dai. Ok.
What the hell is happening in here?
It's time to go for broke. And quickly.
Sbrigate. Meno male che questa è rincoglionita.
What was that? Okay, Squirt. I'm sick of this. Come out of there and let's get it over with once and for all.
I wouldn't convince her to let me go with nothing but words.
No, però.
Adrenaline was pumping through every cell of my body, giving me the necessary strength to knock out that behemoth.
Quel
Now,
mastodonte.
to get out of there, and fast.
Namosene.
As I walked away from that hellish factory, I thought of how I had miraculously escaped one of the worst situations of my life. Yet, it was worth the risk. Now, I knew there would be an exchange of unspecified goods at the pier that night. An exchange I could not miss. I just had to find out which was the right pier among the thousands in Miami.
Vado a capì. Vallo a capì. Che ne so? Andiamo al lungomare? Allora, guarda che c'ho qua. Tiè, te pulisco la palma. La famo
The paint
nuova.
was still fresh, so the solvent would be sufficient to remove it.
Tiè. Così morirà la palma praticamente col solvente. Guarda che ho fatto.
Good morning, Duke Ravendish.
Può smettere di preoccuparsi per la sua
Can you stop
palma?
worrying about your palm tree?
You do not speak fallaciously. I see the mark has actually disappeared.
Ah, visto
Now,
sì.
will you answer my questions?
Ravendish can be ruthless, but always keeps his word. Ask away.
About the night we discussed earlier. Do you remember witnessing anything suspicious?
The stroganoff stew was cooked without sour cream. These Americans and their culinary reinterpretations. Beyond that, I remember seeing an extraordinary individual. He was not a regular, I'm quite sure of that.
Can you describe him?
Formally attired, classy, possessing remarkable posture. He always had his back turned to me, so I cannot provide further details about his appearance.
Nothing else?
Not that I remember. No.
Another dead end. He was the only witness of the event, and I only obtained a vague description. The alley was a cold lead after all.
Where is my head? I unintentionally omitted a detail.
I held my breath.
As he strode towards the main street, the man received a phone call, from which I only
Vediamo le
managed to
parole
capture certain
Cassantino.
words. One in particular aroused my attention, and I determined to research it for purely academic reasons. I wrote it down in a note that, given your precious help, I am willing to share with you.
Gripped with excitement, I prepared to read the note. It contained just one strange word. Sitlalikwe?
Do not look at me like that. I have no idea what it means.
I'll handle this. Although I didn't know how to interpret it, I was sure that bizarre word would lead me to the man in the mask. I had to consult with Alice and
che
try
non
to tie
sapevo che
together the
andavamo da
strands of my
Wikipedia.
investigations.
Oh, lad, can you remain a little longer?
Do you want me to prune your palm while I'm here?
You have proven to be a reliable collaborator, so
che buono.
I have a second request of you. Being a detective, you may have access to government databases through which you could research, this.
I couldn't help but notice the effigy, a crow, in the act of surrounding the world with its wings. I had already seen the same symbol shortly before.
Sì.
M's medallion. What the hell was going on? Had I exposed
Una
a conspiracy
cospirazione
of
di
vagrants?
barboni.
Well, can you give me more specific information?
The crow enveloping the world
Della famiglia
is the symbol
Ravendish.
of the Ravendish family, as well as of the company I run. Or, more accurately, I ran.
Tell me everything. Forwards and backwards.
That shan't be easy, but very well.
Versione
The
cinema.
Raven was, to me, a constant commitment. I ate with colleagues and slept in the office most of the time. I went home just one weekend a month at most. Over time, I started to ignore my family. First, my wife, who got sick of that situation and left the marriage. Then Cynthia.
Cinzia.
Cynthia?
My only heir. She gave birth to a child, but I was so absorbed that I never went to visit them. When I saw her again, she told me she wanted to leave England to move here, to Miami. I was furious. I had filled her pockets with money, given her houses, clothes, and luxury cars, and she just wanted to abandon me, like her mother did. Oh, I feigned indifference and she left, repaying me with a taste of my own medicine.
E da quel momento non ha più visto sua figlia.
And since then, you've never seen your daughter again?
My daughter reached Miami, but sometime later, she suffered a terrible accident. She was killed instantly, without pain. The baby, however...
Era stata
He had been
abbandonata.
abandoned.
Ma è quello
How do
delle
you know
fogne il
that?
nipote di
Let's
questo.
say it was a deduction.
My daughter realized she couldn't take care of the baby, so she abandoned him. I don't know what her last thoughts were, but I was sure they were about the choice she'd made. I used most part of my fortune organizing searches, but to no avail. I felt like I was going crazy from helplessness. In the end, I was declared unfit to manage the Raven, and my portion was bought out by a private group, the Fallen Rose.
Ma poverino.
Before my eyes, the pieces were being arranged in a very strange way. How could it be that the Fallen Rose itself, the company run by Radwed, was connected to that old man met only through chance? At that moment, I began to suspect that my meeting with Roger Ravendish was anything but random after all. You're telling me you stayed in Miami to look for your nephew for how many years, precisely?
12 years, give or take a few days, and I shall stay here as many more need be to reunite with him.
Listen, Duke Ravendish, I don't want to create false hope, but what are the chances that a 12-year-old kid who calls himself M would find himself in possession of your family medallion?
Boy, if this isn't jest, I must warn you that...
I believe it would be better if you came with me.
So this relic would be my grandpa.
Hey, little monster, watch your mouth.
Come on. I get that you're a bit of a sucker, but I didn't think that much. This guy comes out with an absurd story and I should believe him without any evidence?
Michael, you wear the medallion of the Ravendish family.
Michael?
But there's more. An irrefutable piece of evidence that leaves no doubt in my mind. I see my Cynthia in your eyes. Your mother.
My mom?
Come. I'll take you out of this hell.
The surface. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. It has a weird smell.
City life is a collection of scents. The asphalt, the gardens, the water of the fountains.
The pollution.
You'll learn to distinguish them. But for now, let's go home, Michael.
E niente, momento
From the
proprio
beginning of the
dolce.
story,
Riunione di
I've done
famiglia,
nothing
no?
but use everybody else to achieve my aims. But as I watched that grandfather and grandson leaving together, I realized that for the first time, it acted for the good of others, and not myself. It made me feel better.
Ok, siamo venuti da Eris.
Hello.
Lars, don't you know that if you have to meet a girl after being in the sewer, you should
Vero,
first take a
sì,
shower?
non ha
I would have
torto.
really liked to, my dear, believe me. But today is not Saturday.
I already
Sarà una
heard
volta a
that one.
settimana?
So why do you have that strange smile?
I found out that two homeless nobles are related. I've brought them together.
Does it have anything to do with our case?
No.
Yeah, no.
I understand. First, the secondary quest, right?
Questo
Now, can we
secondario.
get back to the main one?
Sono riuscita a introdurmi di soppiatto nella fabbrica.
I was able to sneak inside the factory.
How'd it go? Did you find anything?
I think, my dear, that I underestimated those people. I had to deal with a person of uncertain gender armed to the teeth whom I managed to survive only by a miracle. And thanks to my cat-like reflexes. Add to that the sketchy individual who gently suggested that I leave the case alone. And you'll have a clear picture of the current state of our investigation.
Somebody is not happy with the progress we're making.
Not at all. And the closer we get, the more I feel hunted.
The situation is more serious than I imagined. I really might have a chance for a promotion.
Hey, what about my life constantly being in danger?
Summing it all up, what do we actually know for sure?
First of all, I was able to put a name to our brown-haired mystery man. Now, the factory was registered to his name, a certain Radwed. Then I discovered that tonight an unspecified merchandise exchange will happen nearby at a local pier.
Considering the number of piers and ships anchored in Miami, it doesn't seem like enough to move forward. If only we had another hint of any kind.
Ho trovato un testimone che giura di aver visto il pazzo che mi ha
I
sfidato.
found a witness. According to this highly refined homeless person, the man uttered the word Citlalique.
Circle Ciplo what?
Yeah, I basically had the same reaction. Can you do a search?
Let's see what I can find. So, the word itself is a proper name, in particular of an Aztec deity. I think in our case it means something else, though. I did a cross-check with anything that might have local relevance. The search produced some matches. A themed hotel in the suburbs, a ship anchored here in Miami, and a strip
Direi la nave
club in
ormeggiata
nearby
qui a
Miami
Miami.
Beach.
It must be the strip club. See you later, Alice.
Stop right there, you pervert.
You don't get it. My instincts lead me to believe that.
Keep your instinct at bay. We need to narrow down the field. We can't afford to go off at random.
All right. but I'm sure it's a strip club.
Okay.
Pensiamo un attimo agli elementi che abbiamo in mano,
Alice.
Alice.
So, in the factory you found a ref...
That
Sì.
will happen tonight at an unspecified...
Then that witness you talked to gave us a name.
La
Which,
clique.
among other things,
Una
seems to
barca
be a ship
ancorata a
anchored-
Here we are.
Miami.
I want to do another check.
Dai,
Give me a
su,
minute.
si era capito.
Don't get too carried away. The two details could be unconnected.
I don't think so. The Citlalique is a ship used for goods transport and is actually anchored at Pier 5 in the Biscayne Bay. And listen to this. It seems to be registered to none other than Eric Molesberg.
I
Il cerchio si
knew the man
chiude.
was involved with his daughter's kidnapping. Maybe by merchandise exchange. They actually mean the girl. I just have to wait now. If all goes well, I could close the case by tonight.
Listen, Lars, if you're going to sneak onto the ship alone, it'd be better to take precautions this time. Burton wanted me to compile an inventory of new gadgets which just arrived in the department. And there's one thing you absolutely have to see.
A metal bracelet. Pretty ugly too. Well,
It contains a powerful tracker that will allow me to follow your every movement.
so, if I were to disappear, you could at least find my corpse. And this other electronic thingy?
You must pay very careful attention to that.
Spara
It
laser.
shoots lethal lasers.
Really?
No, silly. It's simply a Bluetooth headset. This will make it easier to communicate. How do you plan to sneak aboard the ship?
I just have to arrange a ride by sea, and I know just the right smelly person for the job. If I hurry, maybe I'll be able to reach him before he leaves the city.
Lars, don't get killed.
Citlalique.
Then, I saw him. Radwin was there,
Bella
a
quello.
few feet away from that crate. From back there, I couldn't hear what they were saying, but the tension seemed as tight as a bowstring. From Mama's agitated hand gestures, I realized that I was the topic of discussion. Radwed, for his part, seemed calm,
Non gli
almost
frega niente.
indifferent. Was it possible that my interference had passed so unnoticed?
What are you doing here, Stallone?
Shh! Can't you see I'm trying to listen?
No, ma ti abbiamo dato pure il panda. Maledetto.
They had thrown me inside a cold, dark cargo hold. Oh, that blow was immense. But at least I was still alive. Eugene didn't have the
grazie al
guts to kill
panda.
me. Not yet, at least. He had also emptied my pockets. If they hadn't destroyed it, the tracker analysis bracelet would bring back up here sooner or later. But would I still be alive by then? I had to escape on my own.
Va bene ragazzi, dai, per oggi ci fermiamo qui. Penso che ormai non manchi tanto, credo. Insomma, siamo qui sulla nave dove ci stanno i tipacci e penso ci sarà anche la ragazza. Voi come sempre mettete un mi piace, lasciate un commento e iscrivetevi al canale. Vi aspetto al prossimo episodio. Alla prossima, ciao ciao!